Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are kicking off my 2024 setup videos and we're starting with the Hobonichi Cousin because that is the one that I have moved into first. If you've seen any of my recent videos regarding this year's Hobonichi Cousin, you will know that it is far too thick to write in at this point, so for kind of what I am using this for, I needed to move into this ASAP. To begin with, I'm just going to kind of go over what I've set it up with, and as you'll see there is this lovely shine to the cover. That's because I'm using once again the Midori A5 cover. I will leave a link in the description to the one that I use because I know there's a couple of different ones. This one is quite snug, but it does definitely fit. My advice is just to get the cover on and then put a load of heavy books on top of it, leave it like that for maybe like 24-48 hours, and then it's absolutely fine and good to go. I haven't decorated this. I am liking the plain kind of look for now. Whether that will change throughout the year, I'm not too sure, but currently keeping it nice and simple. Okay, so opening it up and keeping things very simple in the kind of front cover. This setup for this year is my commonplace book. So everything will go in here for kind of shop and YouTube planning and kind of any other notes, holiday planning, basically anything that isn't kind of day-to-day weekly planning will go in here as a kind of catch-all book for, yeah, basically everything. It will live next to my desk, and if I need to write a note or need to find some information, chances are it will be in here. I have taken some inspiration from a few different Instagram accounts I've found, and this year I'm doing my usual colour coding that I would normally do in my cousin, because I have kind of used it for commonplacing but interspersed with other things for a few years, and I've always done some colour coding, particularly in the index. This year I'm kind of taking it up a notch with page flags. So in the front cover I just have my key. This is just on some cute Moomin I don't know what you call them, but kind of notelets that go quite nicely kind of anchored like that. And I have my colour coding in here. So I have 5 different categories, and then I have a Cocoa Fusion tab that matches. The only exclusion is the yellow, because I don't have a yellow mild liner. These are all mild liners, so the grey mild liner means yellow for the shop. So that's just in there as a bit of a reminder. I like that it is loose because it means that I can just kind of grab it out and leave it when I'm filling in my index, which we'll get to in a second. And then I've just basically stuck in all the tabs that I will need, with the idea being, as you can probably see, that when I have kind of got a page set up, if it's a page that I know that I will want to refer back to, I will add in a sticky note, a page flag, so that I can get back to it a little bit quicker. I still will have my index, which I'll show you, but this is just to help hopefully get back to pages a bit quicker, because sometimes going through the index can take a little bit of time. Next we go on to, I guess, the title page and the first bit of little bit of decoration, and it's just a panda sticker because I love pandas. Next we go on to the yearly overview. So I have gone for the Japanese version this year. It was kind of semi-unintentional, but I don't actually mind the Japanese version. I like it, and I do keep telling myself I'm going to learn Japanese, so having the Japanese elements will help. But yeah, I thought I'd ordered the English. The Japanese arrived because I got it from Amazon Japan, and I was like, you know what, that's fine, I don't mind. I've got an English week, so I can still see, you know, some of the quotes and things like that they have in there. But yeah, so Japanese version, and all I've done with this page is use my usual yearly overview kit, just so I can see slightly better at a glance really what month it is. Although I don't use this for a huge amount, all I'm using this for is bank holidays, just so I have one place to quickly reference at a glance all the bank holidays for the year. And that's literally it for this page. I've never been a big user of these pages, particularly in the cousin, so yeah, that's as much as it will get set up. We then go on to the index. So here you get a good idea of how I do my indexing for the commonplacing, although if you have been around here for a while you probably will have seen this before. So I mentioned that I have the Cocoa Fusion tabs and the colour coding, and this is kind of where you see it. So these are the first pages that I've set up, and all I do is highlight the line with the colour according to what category it is, and then when the highlighter is dry, I just write over the subject of the page basically. I've then, for the first time, added in some of these sterling ink stickers just for a bit of decoration. I have got quite a few stickers left over from when I was subscribed last year into this year, so I thought this was a nice way of using some of the bigger ones. Next we go into the monthlies. So this planner starts the monthlies in December, which means I could move straight into this for social media planning. This is how I've used the layout for the past year in the Cousin, so I'm just continuing this on, and it's essentially how you've kind of seen it before. So I will plan in the Instagram posts in pencil just to kind of plot it out. I will have kind of a running log of Instagram ideas and things that are kind of planned in, and basically there's 2 dots. One gets crossed when the photograph has been taken and edited and is ready to post, and then the next one is when it's been posted. So when I'm setting up my next month, I can kind of have a look and see, okay, what have I not used idea wise that I can then move over into the next month. I then go in and write in the Instagram posts that I set live in one colour so I can see, and then I have my YouTube videos that are written in once filmed and uploaded, and the ideas for the month go under here. And so this is what I've planned in for this month, and then I'll just kind of tick as and when I go on. Sometimes I'll have extra ideas throughout the month, and so I will end up with some that I can kind of migrate over to the next. The final thing, and it's a new thing for this year, is I've just decided to add in just a bit of a kind of, I guess, stat box into the first Sunday of the month. I might do it kind of more than once a month, I'll see how I feel, but just in a different colour. I have written in my subscribers on YouTube, my subscribers, well, followers on Instagram, and total number of Etsy sales. I'm hoping this will look quite nice as I go through the year, and it'll be nice to actually measure some progress, particularly with YouTube, because I set up the channel a couple of years ago and I've just been letting it grow kind of reasonably organically, I guess, without kind of much thought around how many subscribers I've got and how much it's growing. So it'll be nice to actually pay a little bit of attention to this. And that's it for monthly so far. Obviously, as we're still into December, I will take a minute to talk about tabs. So these are some monthly tabs I actually bought last year to use in this year's Cousin and decided it didn't match with the colour scheme, and so I've used them this year and I kind of hate them. I obviously haven't applied them the greatest, but it will be really difficult to tell, but they're actually slightly different sizes, and I actually measured with calipers a couple of them because I'd stuck them in and was like, something's not right here. They don't lie as flat as they should. I mean, bearing in mind I stick them kind of buttered up to the line. Yes, there'll be the one that's kind of like out by a millimetre, but they are pretty like well stuck in, and yet they don't sit flush, they don't sit neatly. So yeah, not something that I am happy to recommend to anybody else, and definitely something I won't be buying again, sadly. But yeah, I kind of wish I'd just stuck to my own tabs, but hey ho, live and learn. But yeah, so just decided to use those because they were kind of hanging around unused. And then we go on to the weeklies, which obviously, as this hasn't kicked in yet, I haven't started. The idea with these weeklies, I won't be using them every week. They will just be a bit of kind of stickery planning if I just feel like, you know, cracking out a sticker kit, or, you know, almost like memory keeping or something, then it'll be used. It won't be used all the time. I've just used my typical Avery tab with a paper bit sticker as my page marker. I love using this combo for you know, my most used pages, usually my weekly and my daily, or wherever it might be. So I've just kept with that this year. I then go on to the dailies, and just before we hit the dailies, just want to talk about this spread. So this will be my goal planning spread for the year. I've used it in this way for a few years now, on and off, and I do like just having the simple double page spread, particularly at the start of my commonplace sing book. It makes sense to have it. I'm not quite sure what this is going to look like in terms of the format. It's usually something I do kind of in the Christmas break, so watch this space for that, but that's kind of what these pages are earmarked for. this kind of monthly blank page I am planning to use for monthly goals. We'll see how that kind of goes. It's not a way that I've used this page for before, so yeah, we'll see. Again, I don't know quite how I'm going to set up the format of that, but it's something that I'm going to try. And then once again, because I've got some sterling ink stuff that I want to use, I have just put some of the vellum in at the start of every month as kind of a bit of a, I don't even know kind of what you'd call it. I suppose in theory it should help me kind of go from one month to the next, but really it's just to kind of add a bit of decoration and use of the vellum. Going into the dailies and how I've used them so far, because like I say, I have already moved into this book because I can't write in my old one, and just set it up with a few pages that I want for kind of the rest of this year. The first page, which I'm not going to kind of show in any detail, is Christmas presents, as you can see from the sticker. And so it's got a sticky tab for the category, because I will need to refer back to this as I buy this year's Christmas presents and a couple of birthday presents, because I've got quite a lot of kind of birthdays around December and January. But yeah, that's all in there. Next, I have a spread that I have set up for one for YouTube and one for Instagram, and this is basically just going to be, because although I have kind of my ideas in here, I do want then kind of a separate place just to do kind of brainstorming and other kind of ideas, particularly if I, you know, think of videos or Instagram reels that is a kind of a future idea. I want somewhere to kind of capture it, so that's what that will be set up for. And then we go into, so if you haven't seen some of my videos before, one top tip I have, particularly if you use fountain pens and you're quite messy like me, I'm sure you probably saw, I didn't actually mention it at the time, but I found finally some cream correction tape, which worked out really well when I smeared this horrifically, and so had to cover it up. It doesn't look amazing, but it looks better than the horrible smeared ink. Anyway, if you're like me and smear a lot of ink, I highly recommend just getting some blotting paper, cutting it down to size, and then putting a page tab on it, because then it kind of becomes a really handy page marker, but then it's really useful because once you finish writing, you just put it in, close the book, and you get the ink on there rather than smeared all over the page. Anyway, next, spreads. So this is a coffee advent calendar that my partner and I bought this year, and basically I've just been making a note of where they're from, what the taste notes are, and giving them a rating out of 5, because I like coffee, but I'm not very good at kind of knowing what kind of coffee I like and what countries and things like that. So this has been working out really well. I think I might do the same thing for wine, because again, we love wine, but then aside from a couple of bottles, we don't really kind of know what our favourites are or our go-to notes are. So I feel like doing something similar to this, and then the next time someone says, oh, can I buy you a bottle of wine? Like, yes, one of these please. Or yeah, that's the idea anyway. Whether it will get used, who knows. Next, I have a spread that I set up in most of my planners, which is my inbox. So that's why it gets a page flag, because it should be a often used or often referred back to. And my inbox is basically just any task that I want to do kind of in the future. So to give you an idea, dry cleaning and repot plants is currently what's on here. This will get filled up over time, like when tax return is due or tax return needs to be done, that'll go on there. It's things that need to get done at some point but don't necessarily have an immediate kind of deadline. What I will generally do is when I set up my month is I will refer to my inbox and then see if there's anything in there that I might want to migrate into either my monthly spread or into a weekly spread, because actually it's overdue in terms of like it's been too long since I last kind of did my dry cleaning or something like that. Then yeah, I'll use it in that way. Or if I've kind of got a free afternoon, I will go and have a look at this list maybe and see if there's anything I can knock off. And yeah, that's it. I've covered up the timeline with washi tape, and that's kind of it in terms of what I've used it for so far. So quite a simple setup. Hopefully this was useful, and hopefully the screaming kids that are outside the window have not been really loud on this video, because if I come to edit it and all you can hear is them screaming, I'll be really annoyed. but hopefully not. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and please stay tuned for more 2024 setup videos. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.